Oh god, this hasn't gone well. My mic is stuck. Hold on. Two. Are you? Yep. Okay. It's been a day. Hello everyone. I'm Owen Phoenix and welcome back to Satisfactory. What basically happened there was I started the stream, realised I hadn't actually got the mic near me, pulled the mic forward, but because basically I'm now working from home and each morning my commute is reshuffling a load of cables around, the mic kind of got the mic cable was kind of stuck and I couldn't bring the mic actually towards me, which was a bit of a pain. But anyway, we're here now. I really need to sort out my cables. There's an awful lot of cables behind there, and switching it over each day is a bit twice is a bit of a pain. But anyway, rather annoyingly, I have a KVM, but it's not here. It's in another county at the moment. So yeah, it's not gone well. Anyway, hello everyone. I hope everybody is healthy and happy and not having to deal with the general public right now. If you are, I'm very sorry that you have to deal with the general public, and B, no matter how much people yell and scream at you because you don't have milk or you don't have the certain type of cheese they like to eat, you are appreciated. It's, you know, it is just one of those things that so long time ago, which I can probably talk about this now because it was a few years ago now, I used to work in, let's just call it a hardware store for now, just because people over the pond will know what that means. So drills and paint, that sort of stuff. But so I had this customer, and he came up to my till. So I was a cashier at the time, and he went to the wrong side. It was like one of those systems where you have two tills next to one another, and quite frankly, if you're not completely aware of quite where people are standing, it can look very much like they're on the wrong side. So, I was just kind of, myself. I'm in socialist egalitarian. I don't like to call people sir, because it's just like giving you airs and graces that you may not really even deserve. As far as I'm concerned, it's just sir. It's such an old-fashioned term. I just don't use it. And even when working retail, I just would not use it. But I'd use gentleman. I should know. I would say, this gentleman or this lady needs whatever. I would never say sir. I just refuse to. And so anyway, so he goes to the wrong side and says, you're on the wrong side. And it's like, and he says to me, "You mean you're on the wrong side, sir?" I was like, it was something along those lines of, "Don't you mean, would you like to come round to the other side, sir?" And so I said to him, "Sorry, would you like to come round to the other side?" Specifically not saying sir. And he was, huffing and puffing, and comes to when he's paying, and and I just say, if you'd like to put your card into the machine, as you always do. And this was the moment where he just snapped, and he just goes off. He just like, I'm not doing this anymore. Dumps his stuff down on the counter. He doesn't pay. Dumps his stuff down on the counter and just leaves. I was like, what the hell? Honestly. So so that was a fun experience I had with the customer. The next customer in the line was just like, what was his problem? I was like, oh, I don't know. I'll put his stuff behind the counter in case he feels a bit sheepish in about 15 minutes and comes back. But ultimately people act like a word I can't say because I've said that although this stream isn't for kids, I don't know. Words mean different things in different countries. But yeah, people behave like absolute children some of the time. And especially when they're panicked or they're stressed or whatever. The little things sometimes just set them off. And, I think that was a very sort of good experience of one person acting like a complete, all the words that, if you work retail, all those words that you want to describe people as. One of them. But the next one was really, really nice. And generally that was my experience of people. So no matter how much people are being complete children right now, know that the people who aren't being those children, who are just trying to get what they need and then get out of the shop, they appreciate you being there. They appreciate your assistance if they need it. Even though they may not say thank you, they do appreciate it. And it's a hard time for everyone. And if you work in hospitals, you'll get people be complete morons when it comes to just being nice. I will always, personally, I'll always make the point of saying thank you to the person who is treating me or dealing with me and whatever, because especially especially these times, just a bit of kindness just kind of makes people feel a little bit happier about everything, really. There's no point in pushing and shoving and yelling and screaming, because it's not going to make things any easier for anyone. In fact, it just means that you end up at some point being a story on some guys or some girls stream about building factories, and you end up being an anecdote, not a productive member of society. But anyway, my little rant about people over. Welcome to Satisfactory, a game about building factories. You will have seen me play this a lot, because it's a fun game. It's available on the Epic Store at the moment. It will be available on Steam at some point when they feel ready to. But for now, it's only available on the Epic Game Store. If you like that or not, I honestly don't care. Because especially at these times, just play games. Just when you're on your downtime and you're thinking, well, I could go to the shops to buy even more toilet paper, even though the cupboard is already full of it, or I could just sit down and play games. Just sit down, play some games. If you don't need to go out, then it's probably just best not to go out right now. People are being very panicky. So one of the things that I suffer from is hay fever. And the cherry blossom's out, which I am incredibly allergic to. I say incredibly allergic to. I'm mildly allergic to it. Gone from incredibly to mildly. It's an irritation. It's an irritation that I have. And the council planted a load of cherry blossoms all the way down the road I live on, which is nice of them. And they are shedding their pollen quite a lot at the moment. So I'm a little bit, a little bit sneezy, a little bit coughy. But I'm not ill. but it's again one of those situations where people are a little bit tense at the moment, and I don't really want to cause, so as I said, I'll just stay inside. I've got enough supplies for the moment. I'll probably risk going out next week, even though apparently that's going to be sort of peaking, but I'll take the risk. It's a case of monitoring the situation and seeing what's the right thing to do at any one time. Certainly, I think the panic is unfounded. I think that although the virus is particularly nasty, it certainly affects people an awful lot quicker than swine flu did. I think swine flu was far more of a slow burn. It would. So this one, you'll get your sore throat, you'll get your fever or whatever for the first week. It's like you get minor symptoms in the first week, and then the second week it really hits for a couple of days, and then it's gone. Swine flu was a lot sort of slower burn, so you felt terrible for 2 weeks. At least that's generally how it affected me. For some people it was slightly less, but generally it was, you got it, you felt terrible, and then it would go again. This is a little bit more slow. This one is sort of fast acting, but it will sort of clear faster. But unfortunately, it seems to kill quite faster as well. I don't care about monetization, so I can be a little bit more free with my language. I know the algorithm is penalising people for saying certain words, coronavirus being one of them. I call it COVID just because, fear of a name and all that. Let's call it by what it is. Let's give it at least some respect. And you may think that's odd. Yeah, don't care. But yeah, no. Well, it's just a case of bunker up for a little while. Follow the advice that we get, if we get any actual advice that's worth listening to. Generally, I think the advice given of just stay at home unless you need to go out for for supplies or for your own sanity. I had to get out a couple of Tuesday night. It was just a case of I've got to go for a walk. I've just got to get out of this flat. I haven't been out of the flat for 4 days. I've got to go. I've just got to go for a short walk. So yeah, it's about 9 o'clock in the evening. It's just like, I'm just going to walk down the road and back. And it's just even that sort of short sort of burst of fresh air. It does the mind some good. Gets the mind going again. That's something that we've all kind of got to deal with. I'm not a hugely social person. I would do these streams because I like streaming, but I'm not a hugely social person. So social situations kind of confuse me a little. I'm fine to chat to people, but sort of the idea of going to a club, it never appealed to me. This idea of going to the pub, going to a club, it's noisy. You can't really have a good conversation, and there's usually someone back in my day of before the smoking bans came in, there would always be people smoking in the pub, and it was just not a pleasant experience. I'd go to gigs, and I enjoy going to gigs because you get to listen to some music. You don't go there expecting to talk to people. You go there expecting to see, have a good night of entertainment, watching a band, bouncing up and down, and doing all those sort of general things that my style of music. Shinedown, excellent gig, best gig I ever went to. Do recommend it if you are into that sort of music. And Shinedown are playing. Highly recommend. Very, very energetic gig. I've seen Seether. They're good. Seether are good. Foo Fighters, obviously. Nightwish, Within Temptation. 100 Reasons. 100 Reasons was a good one. Lost Prophets, not so much. just an awkward gig. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, least said about them, the better, I think. Oh God, who else have I seen? I was going to see Papa Roach, but I never actually got around to it in the end. I bought the ticket, but I couldn't find anyone to go with me, and I was feeling really down. I was like, oh, I just can't be bothered to go out, so I never actually went to see Papa Roach in the end. I saw A live. We actually got in free. Some stories from my childhood here. I'll say childhood. I was about, I don't know, 18, 19, something like that. Mate of mine got us tickets to go and see A live. I want to say The Mean Fiddler, but I'm not completely certain. It was one of the smaller ones, and it could have been The Mean Fiddler. It doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. Mean Fiddler, and I think it was Astoria. Yeah, so he got us in free of charge, because he, I don't know, knew someone like the marketing guy or something that worked there, and so we were just like handing out flyers before the gig, and then we got in for free, which, you know, it's you know, it's a living, I guess. Not a hugely great gig, but you know, I didn't have to pay for it, so it wasn't such a big deal. But the one that I suddenly remembered was Velvet Revolver. I went to see them, Brixton Academy. Great gig. If you ever, when all the bands finally lift, and you know, okay, Brixton, it's a bit of an area. I've been there a few times, sometimes by myself, I have to admit, and a couple of times I have been offered certain substances, but yeah, it's a bit of an interesting place, Brixton. But Brixton Academy is a great venue. Obviously, you know, the warning is there. Brixton is a little dodgy, but Brixton Academy, fantastic venue. It's like, I don't know if it was like an old theatre, but it's like done up to be like that. So you kind of got the stage, and so you've got the almost Baroque style sort of art stuff around the stage. The ceiling is like pitch black. The air conditioning makes it feel like you're outside, because you kind of get this breeze coming across it. It's very, very odd. The carpet is slightly sticky because of all the beer that's been dropped on it, and you just can't clean carpet. But you know, it's sort of that sort of style, I guess. But yeah, fantastic venue. Anyway, I've been talking about venues and gigs and just running around in Satisfactory, because this is what makes me happy. Though, so another part of that Velvet Revolver gig, which just popped into my head, because the whole smoking band thing. So by then, the smoking ban was already in place. Nobody was allowed to smoke within a building. And so, Velvet Revolver, so you got the band of Slash, and I'm going to forget the singer's name. I want to say Scott Weiland. Could be. I know Miles Kennedy did do some stuff has done some stuff with Slash, but I think it was Scott Kennedy. Scott Kennedy? I'm not completely certain. I'm going to have a look now. So Scott Kennedy, no, it was Scott Weiland. Velvet Revolver. Yeah, Scott Weiland, who died in 2015, but he was lead singer of the Stone Temple Pilots before sort of doing some work with Velvet Revolver for 2 albums. But yeah, so Slash comes onto the stage, and he's got a cigarette tucked in his frets of his guitar. You know, no, he comes onto the stage smoking a cigarette, which he's not allowed to do technically, but who's going to tell Slash anything else? Yeah, and he gets on stage and he takes the cigarette and he sticks it in his in the frets in his guitar, the between the strings in his guitar, which is just like, yeah, that's very rock and roll. Anyway, I've been chatting about bands for 20 minutes, just sort of wandering down memory lane, as it were. So, anyway, welcome everyone to Satisfactory, a game about building factories, which I think I started off with and then went on a huge tangent, which is pretty much why you watch these videos, don't lie. So, I have successfully managed to irradiate 2 areas of this map, and let's go and see one of them, because I've now got a hazmat suit and so can actually go into these areas. So, I have a nuclear reactor over on this side of the map, and one video, I think, I can't remember, I set up a train that goes from the waste dump, which technically it is the waste dump, and takes it to the waste disposal yard. That train is actually radioactive as it moves along the track when it's carrying the radioactive waste, which I think is fantastic. It's a really, really nice touch. You know, this game is all about sort of these very nice touches that just makes the game feel more alive, I guess. I don't know, it's slightly strange that this game that's about building factories and building logistical systems can feel right, and it's not finished yet. It's still in early access, but the game feels like, it could be a game that you'd release tomorrow. It's still technically in early access, and yeah, there's some things missing. Tier 8 and 9 are not actually available yet, which means, so this tech that I'm doing now, that just requires some modular frames, is actually the last piece of research in the hub that I need to do. And then after that, I've just got some ones to do in the research hub, and of course unlocking all the recipes. So anyway, yeah, so this is where all my my nuclear waste is now. It's a byproduct. There's nothing I can do with it. I just literally just slung it over here, and this is where it's going to just live now. So the hazmat suit does take these filters, the iodine filters. They're basically the gas mask filters, but sort of infused with quick wire and a few other bits. But yeah, no. So I get to about here, and I know that it's safe here, so I can just switch over to my Blade Runners and go running again. There's only one equipment slot. I'd like a couple more, just not exactly a couple more even. Just Blade Runners and something else would be really nice, because I use the Blade Runners so much for just jumping around factories. Hopefully, maybe in the future we'll get like another body slot, so you can have 2 items, sort of 2 wearable items at the same time. But for the moment, we've just got the one. And I've got aluminium coming through and all kinds of things. So this thing over here is aluminium production. I need to work on this. That will be an off-camera jobby. But yeah, I want to do some work on my nuclear engineering area, because it's, well, you'll see what it's like. I've done a little bit on it, but it's very sort of the style of the nuclear material is all down there, because that's where it was mined. So all the production material stuff is there, but there's no water up there, and the only way to get water there is by train. So I've got a train running down there to drop water. So that also does aluminium, because the bauxite is up there, along with giant spiders, as it turns out. But no, it's going well, and it's one of those games where I'm coming to the end of the tech tree now, and I'm kind of thinking, okay, well, obviously I need to get ready for the next tech tree when it comes along. But it's more than that. I also need to just kind of optimize my factory. It's not very good at the moment for some things. And one of the main things is that actually the nuclear production area isn't actually complete. Every so often I need to manually feed machines with certain things in order to get it making components again. That's not ideal, and so I need to work on that. But so let's go over here. Build some things. This probably won't be a hugely long stream because I do still need to go and eat something tonight. Which will probably be the pie and garlic bread. A couple of things I just need to use up. Oh God, I did a bit of an experiment yesterday. Can't remember when it was. Well, yesterday was a fun one. I set off both smoke alarms. And then actually the experiment before I set off both smoke alarms as well because the grill is... First time in using the grill and it sets off both smoke alarms. That was fun. And then it wouldn't shut up. God. Fun times. Fun times in my life. Right, let's get some... so I've set up this now, so I've got access to concrete. I'm going to need concrete because this area needs to be redone. If I just get up somewhere high, you can kind of see the mess that's... if I get up somewhere high and don't actually just fall off the edge of the container. Right, so that's not very helpful actually either. I want to be on this container. So, so that makes my nuclear material. I couldn't move that before, but now I can. And actually I can now do a little bit of work over there. The problem is that my filters aren't going to last forever. I've only got 6 filters left. I do need to make some more. Thankfully filters aren't hugely expensive, so that's just something that I can obviously do. However, I would also quite like to sort out this track that's sort of going, it sort of droops down, goes along here-ish, and then it comes up here, and it's just a mess, basically. So I do need to, what I probably want to do is sort out that first. So I'm going to do this because I've got a nuclear reactor in the way a bit. Might be able to bring it out sort of this way. Ish. Might be able to do something here with platforms. So that we're all nice and neat. I'll wall this up here. So something I did watch today which was hilarious. I can't remember the name of the YouTuber, but he does an awful lot of... he basically breaks games, essentially. In horrible ways. And yeah, so he did Satisfactory, and it's hilarious, and I do recommend finding it. It'll be, if you watch Satisfactory videos, it'll be somewhere on your feed by now, I expect. The algorithm is kind of dumb, but it's okay, I guess. Well, it's not okay. The algorithm is dreadful. For many reasons, not least for recently actually, YouTube, because of the whole corona COVID situation. I don't need the hazmat on at the moment. I need the because I'm not near the bad stuff. because of all the COVID stuff at the moment. And that needs straightening up. Yeah, that'll be fine. YouTube is basically sort of gone into their own form of lockdown, which is good. Most companies should be doing it. No company that's non-essential should be open right now. And yeah. So they've basically just let the algorithm and their copyright systems off the leash, which is quite frankly terrible and terrifying for most people who make content on YouTube, because the system is going to make mistakes, and YouTube have been very open that the system is going to make mistakes. But that's just what they're going to go with now. What concerns me is why YouTube aren't getting people to work from home. I'm working from home. Why can't other people work from home? Why is it that the system is just literally now, it's just going to just go completely automated and make tons of mistakes? I don't really understand YouTube these days. I understand it. I just don't want to know quite what it's doing, really. Certainly, there's been so much, so many issues with YouTubers who probably shouldn't be on anywhere near the channel, being near the channel, near the and I'm not going to sully my channel by speaking their names, but if you've been around YouTube for the past, I don't know, year or so, you'll know who the sorts of people that I'm talking about. So we end up with this algorithm that's promoting people's content that, quite frankly, should be nowhere near the platform, but no one's going to do anything about it. Why would they then? They have made them money in the past, and they may end up continuing to make them money. And that's I think that's my sort of rant about YouTube over. It's kind of why I've considered moving over to Twitch. I didn't want to before, because I didn't really want to split the fan base, as it were. I know I don't have a huge fan base, but you know what I mean. So, and especially, I guess, with not having a huge fan base, it's all the more important not to really split people up. And so, can I bring it around here? It's this too sharp a turn thing. There we go. Woot. It's a little bit strange, but it'll work. The cliffs are optional. It's fine. I will probably need to that turn up in a little bit, but for the moment, I just needed it to be intact so that I can continue building. What's that encroaching on? Oh, I bet it's encroaching just on the track. Excuse me for one moment. Bit of a dry cough. It's hay fever. Hay fever combined with a hot room, combined with talking, combined with getting over a throat infection from last week. Still a bit. Oh God. Just these times. It's just. Ugh. No respite, I guess. Right, so that is looking an awful lot neater. I need to straighten that one up because it's going to annoy me otherwise. Minor. Okay, and then that goes into... That doesn't go into there. Hold on. Wall into 8. Yeah, here we go. Probably should have split that up anyway, so I can then put the fence around. I can put the foundation down that I'm missing. I'm intentionally putting them around this way around because they look nice. Excellent. So yeah, so now we've got that. So we block you from accidentally falling into the machinery, which is, you know, very important. And then we put in a conveyor splitter. And that pole is in the wrong place. Really, I should have a big one just in case. Then I can do that. I can then draw that off here. So this is basically what I'm doing an awful lot of at the moment. It's refining my existing systems and ensuring that I've got the supplies to sort of carry on. So that Stairway to Heaven up there is kind of clumsy. And what I'm thinking of doing probably is just putting a hyper thing up. But in order to do that, what I really need first is an ore elevator, which is what this is going to be. So this is literally just going to be going up as high as it possibly can, and then just putting a little twist in there so that it goes up as high as it can, then goes up to another elevator, and so on and so forth until it's the top. Just because this is horrible. Or what I might do is do an elevator up and then sort of do platform across and then elevator up. I think that might look a bit nicer rather than just the hell that I've got at the moment with the bauxite. And then I'll put a hypertube up the side. In fact, can I start putting the hypertube up? Let's have a look. Transportation. So I can put a hypertube wall support in. So it would be like, so I go from here, say. No, not stackable one. Hypertube. So yeah, so say I go from, oh, for God's sake. So I go from, why are you not? For some reason it's not letting me place that there. Oh, it was, but yeah. So yeah, so I have a like hypertube entrance there, and then the entrance then it sort of goes along there, and then I just need a doorway so that I can get in. So the hypertube wall support would go in sort of like, what I kind of want it to do is to do that, and then up like that. Something like that. And then, yeah, so when I get in there, I should then also have a little bit of control. Ow, ow. But yeah, you get the idea. So I'll be able to go up to each level and then sort of get onto the next one over. But yes, that's kind of how my ascension would go up that instead of this mess that I've got at the moment. So yeah, I'll be doing all of that off camera, and so I won't be streaming tomorrow, that's for certain. So possibly Saturday during the day I might do one. You think, what am I doing Saturday? Oh yeah, I'm at home because Boris Johnson's decided that a lockdown was necessary. To be fair, a lockdown was necessary, but an actual lockdown was necessary, not the thing that they've got going on at the moment, where you've got Tim Martin from Wetherspoons decided that he was not going to pay any of his staff, and I think it's like Mike Astley or something. Basically, he's the head of JD Sports. Decided that a clothes shop was should be considered an essential, and so he stated that he was going to open his shops anyway, and yeah, that did not go down particularly well anywhere, surprisingly. So it was slightly odd that he got absolutely slammed in the media, and so he should, to be fair, over all of this. But the Wetherspoons guy, whose name I've just forgotten, he pretty much got away scot-free, actually. You know, he said he was going to, you know, basically it was along the lines of that he wasn't going to pay anyone for until the government grant came through in April, and if anybody can't wait, then he understands and suggests that they go get a job in Tesco. Which, yeah, this was a guy that said that he was going to that he didn't think that closing pubs would make much difference to the current issues in the world, which, you know, frankly, surely what you want is not people to congregate in well, especially not in a Wetherspoons, but congregate in general, really. It does limit the spread, and yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of where we are, and I just saw a video that I'm going to butcher the channel name, but Alizy, I think she goes by, but she's like I guess sort of drama type of channel, I guess. But she did a video that kind of showed what people are sort of getting up to, and one of the things was panic buying McDonald's before McDonald's shut their doors, because McDonald's weren't going to do takeaways anymore. They were literally just going to shut their stores because, frankly, fast food is not essential. Food is, but fast food, no, you don't need fast food. In fact, you know, even sort of takeaways in general, you kind of wonder, is this needed? Is this actually the right thing to do to essentially put workers at risk? Any kind of worker. You know, some things on the list I understand, like obviously you want hardware shops open because sometimes things break and you need to go to a hardware shop to find the part to fix it. So yeah, the world's just a little chaotic right now, and I don't really know if there's any real exit strategy at the moment. But no, I guess, you know, life continues. I've lost power. Why have I lost power? Well, I haven't lost power. Wait. Why is my train down? When I cut the line, I didn't actually consider that a train might be down on it. So there's currently a train down on it. Hold on. We can fix this. Probably. I've just got to find where it was I connected in the first place. Doesn't help. I'm taking radiation damage. I think it was like right up next to the line on them. If I go up here. Got to go all the way around while dragging this thing. It's a long way. Hold on. All things to happen. This was the thing that happened. Okay, and come on, line. You know you want to attach somewhere. Come on, train. Are you gonna move? Yeah. I need that one to run because that one's carrying water. That's my water tanker. So okay, right. That's fixed now. I probably can't actually place foundations down anymore, can I? No, of course not. I'll fix that at some point. Now, so that can now come out, and I should really be in my hazmat. So yeah, so that line is, yeah, so we'll take out this line here, and then I can fill this out. Where have I clicked? I've clicked somewhere. Probably down in the ground somewhere. Okay, hold on. I'll get more health. But I'll also get more of this. Oh, wait, what? No, wait. There. Not completely certain why that's going so slowly. Though I am using quite a lot of concrete, so there's also that side of things. So yeah, I'll probably stream again on Saturday because, you know, I'm not going to be doing anything, surprisingly. But you know, there's obviously this constant concern of quite what well, what people are going to do. You know, the average Joe, as well as governments. You know, what are they going to do next? So in the UK, you know, people are reporting it. People may be reporting it as a lockdown. It's not. Essentially what we've got is a list of suggested behaviours with the general idea that if we continue to break them, which people are continuing to do, then the police will get certain powers in order to find people or potentially arrest them. I think arresting is probably a little bit much, especially because then you're putting them in cells where they could potentially get infected or spread infection. I don't think that's a particularly good plan. Certainly things like sending them home would certainly be a good idea. Alright, so all this needs to be concreted up. and yeah, I think this will all be something for another video when I'm feeling a little bit more up and at 'em. And I said this was going to be a short one, and it really hasn't been. Anyway, I think I'm going to end this video here. I hope you've enjoyed it. It was a little bit more of a rambling about life, the universe, and everything, rather than actually playing much Satisfactory. But yeah, it's pretty much why I do these videos anyway. To talk about stuff and just kind of lose myself, I guess. Lose myself in a world that's not this one, ultimately. Yeah, Satisfactory is a great game. Highly recommend if you are interested in it. It is on the Epic Game Store. Currently it is in early access, so obviously buyer beware on that front. I'm all the way to nuclear power now. I've almost done advanced aluminium production. That's probably about done now. I think that just gets me a better miner. I've already got access to better conveyor belts if I want them, which I do, but I need to make the aluminium to do that, obviously. But yeah, so I'm gonna just, amble off now. But anyway, yeah, so if you've enjoyed it, then excellent. So thank you very much for watching, guys.